What is the word? Y'all already know what time it is. Kagurabachi, chapter 83. Man, I'm not wasting nobody time, man. Like, subscribe. It don't hurt nobody, man. Please. It's like, hey, leave a comment on the video if you're rocking with the chapter, man. If you're new and you stopping by, I appreciate y'all the most. Y'all already know. I'm excited for this one, truly, because they about to bang it out. It's only right. It's a flashback for the first page, but I'm very optimistic. But let's just see what they saying. All right, we got Chihiro and Shiba in the hospital. It says the malediction. That's the Sanuchi's power. Roka here didn't talk about it, but he didn't intend to hide it from you forever. But it was too much to share with you at such a young age. He says, slowly but surely, we'll learn to do that together. He says, I understand. 200,000 lives. He says, we are complicit in the deaths they cause. She says, that's why he sealed up the enchanted blades. Without the enchanted blades, the people of this country would have been massacred. But even so, Rokuhira was racked with guilt for forging them. Shiro says, then why did he give me this? Chapter 83, the Anton. Okay, boom, we went right to it. All right, bet. Boom, he parried that, but he got sent out the roof. Let's see what's popping off. With his hand shaking, he said his strength is insane. If I tried to counter it instead of deflecting it, he would have sliced my arm off. Amazing. Cool, he landed. I love when he had that little glimmer in his eye. That shit's so fire. He says there's a saying from the Seitei Wars that's fitting. When black birds flock, death is nigh. It's obvious where that saying came from. He was in the air and then just teleported to the bird. Yeah, his mobility is nuts. Samura says, show me? What on earth do you want to show me? He said there's a way to prevent the malediction without sacrificing any lives. He says there's no way. We destroy the Sanuchi. He just looking at him. The Sanuchi is the source of eternal contracts. If the Sanuchi were to be destroyed, the contracts would become null. Nobody has to die. He says if only we could just destroy it. After the war, we tried everything we could think of. We couldn't even scratch it. I heard you broke the cloud gouger, but sword fighting is similar to physical augmentation. The strength of the blade varies greatly depending on the wielder's skill and spirit energy. However, whoever was wielding the enchanted blade must have been some really puny thug for it to break. Hold on, I'm not gonna continue to the next line. I will not. I can't accept the Sojo disrespect. Sojo was, I don't even think I covered it on the channel. Sojo was so elite. If I'm not even trying to be funny, bruh. Dude was cracked. He said, we're talking about a man they call the Sword Master and Rokahira Sanuchi. That sword is indestructible. Just the Sword Master and I have to die. It's the best and only way. Chiro got that glimmer. He says, here it comes. Crow. He swapped places with the crow, then he swapped places with the black feathers floating in the air. He says maybe it's because I've honed my sword skills, but more than ever, the sword feels deeply integrated in my hand. My Nashiki flows more lightly and naturally than before. Alright. Feather behind. Oh yeah, I love how the feather behind him teleported to it. Chihiro peeped it though. Oh, he tried to attack him. He sliced through the feather too. Nice. But he just teleported behind him again. He tried to slice him, but shit looked like he swam away in the middle of the air. He swam away in the middle of the air and then he immediately teleported behind him. He parried it again though. Hold on. Didn't they just start flash stepping in the air? He says even with Nishiki I can barely evade him. But I see it now. Right before he switches places, there's a trace of spirit energy. Okay, in one of the feathers. It looked like he noticed something too. Okay, he noticed it in the feather. Now, cut it. Damn, he put the energy in the blade and everything too right at the last minute. But he just swapped it with his sword. He said, only a sword? Smore said, that was impressive. You figured out how to read my movements, but gotcha. He swapped. only the sword to swap behind a feather, and then there's another feather. He used that to teleport his goddamn sword. He's cracked. He said, I figured out yours too, though. Hey, hands up in the air. Sorry. He parried it again. Chihiro is like that. Nice. Got a little scuffle. You know how they look. You know how it is when they just be holding the swords together. He got a little one of those situations, but he knocked it up in the air, kicked him in his neck. Oh my goodness, Chihiro is out of there. Look like he's floating to like the bottom of a pond. All right, the Enten is up near Samura, but his hand is shaking. He said, "What just happened?" When Rokuhira forged the enchanted blades, he didn't craft their power specifically, only their general intended purpose, to kill or to protect. The original 6 swords were intended as instruments of war to defeat the enemy. He looked like he looked to his left and he see clanking like they sword making. Okay, yeah, you see a shot. But the 7th sword, the Enten, is different. Okay, we back in the hospital. It was the only time in Rokuhira's career as a master swordsmith, that he co-created a sword with someone. Chihiro said, all I did was follow as he said. Right after the warrior father attempted to destroy the enchanted blades. Look, he looks surprised. But they were masterpieces forged with Datenseki, a material with properties beyond human understanding. Every attempt to destroy them failed. All of them, not just the Sanuchi. Oh, they were trying to get rid of all of them. After that, for nearly 15 years, your father struggled in the darkness with the knowledge of what he created, the enchanted blades and the malediction. But all along, you were his guiding light, illuminating a path forward. The Enten was that path. Look at the hope in my dog eyes. You used the Enten to destroy the Cloud Gouger. Sure, Sojo wasn't a swordsman. He wasn't as proficient with the blade as its previous owner, but even so, he's a strong fighter. It wasn't just his failure, there's no question. It was your success. And you were able to course correct that katana which had been compromised from its true intent. Some more just looking down at him. To face the past and connect it to the future, perhaps that was what the purpose Rokuhira infused into the Enten, That day you were able to draw out that power. Alright, Chihiro stood up. Why did it look like he was drowning for a second and he's standing up in this water though? Anyway, they are still distant figures. Talking about the Swordmaster and Samura, because I can't imagine what the Swordmaster's on truly with that sword, but hold on, look like there's a fish in that pond that's swimming up to Chihiro. Look like he's reaching out to pet it. Wait, hold on, is he about to, because mind you, the sword is on the roof with Samura. A quick flashback. We need to have some principle and accountability. The weight of malediction must have been that heavy. Chihiro says, then the true realm, the intense true realm, yeah. Little flashback. I'm committed to taking it on. Yep, he went to grab that fish and swapped it with Enten. Amazing. With the Enten, I'll destroy the Sanuchi. This sauce. At the end of the day, this is growth. I knew once he started to be able to use his kit again, he was gonna be cracked. He still gotta show me something though, but in a sense, I mean, he be having a situation to where it's all of them fishes in a room too. I don't know how he can implement that, but hey, it's possible. Anyway, if y'all still here, man, it's much appreciated, man. Truly, man. Like, subscribe, leave a comment on the video if you was rocking with the chapter. It's much appreciated. Please, thank you. It's hot, y'all. If y'all not drinking water, it's actually asinine of you. Like, you deserve it if you're not drinking no water out here. I'm sorry to say, but please be drinking water. Stay safe.